The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, by Joseph Murphy. Introduction. Not long ago, the great operatic tenor, Caruso, was struck with a terrifying bout of stage fright. He was backstage, just minutes from his performance, but his throat felt paralyzed. Intense fear had constricted the muscles, and perspiration was pouring down his face. He was ashamed, shaking, and he said to those around him, "They will laugh at me. I can't sing." In that moment of panic, he did something remarkable. He stood tall and shouted, as if to a separate person inside him, "The little me wants to strangle the big me within." He then turned his command to that smaller, fearful self, "Get out of here. The big me wants to sing through me." By the big me, he meant the limitless, powerful, and wise part of himself that existed beyond fear and doubt. He kept shouting, "Get out, get out, the big me is going to sing." His subconscious mind responded, releasing a flood of vital force within him. When the call came, he walked onto the stage and sang gloriously, completely enthralling the audience. Caruso had stumbled upon one of the greatest secrets of the ages. A secret that isn't locked away in an ancient vault or hidden in a forgotten text, but lies dormant, right now, inside every single one of us. This secret is the subject of a book that has quietly transformed millions of lives since it was first published in 1963, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Drive. Joseph Murphy. Drive. Murphy was a fascinating man, a minister, a doctor of divine science and philosophy, and a lifelong student of the world's great religions. He believed that within all the different spiritual traditions, there was a single, universal truth, a common thread that explained why one person is sad while another is happy, why one is a great success while another is a failure, why one is healed of a terrible disease while another is not. He dedicated his life to simplifying this profound truth so that anyone, anywhere, could use it. And the truth is this: you have, within you, a treasure house of infinite power. A partner that never sleeps, that knows the answer to every problem, and that has the ability to heal, prosper, and guide you beyond your wildest dreams. This partner is your subconscious mind. By the end of our time together today, you will understand how to connect with this incredible power. You will learn the simple, practical techniques used by great scientists, artists, and leaders throughout history to achieve the impossible. And most importantly, you will realize that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the master of your own destiny, equipped with all the tools you need to create a life of freedom, happiness, and peace of mind. So, let's begin our journey into the last place most people would ever think to look for a miracle: their own mind. Book summary. Have you ever planted a garden? You take a small seed, place it in the soil, and you trust. You trust that the soil contains all the minerals, the nutrients, and the unseen intelligence to transform that tiny seed into a magnificent plant. You don't argue with the soil or command it. You simply plant the seed, and the law of growth takes over. Drive. Joseph Murphy begins by telling us that our mind works in exactly the same way. He says you have only one mind, but it possesses two distinct and remarkable functions. Think of one part as the gardener. That's your conscious, reasoning mind. The other part is the garden itself, the rich, fertile soil. That's your subconscious mind. All day long, whether you realize it or not, you, the gardener, are planting seeds. These seeds are your thoughts. Every thought of peace, of success, of confidence, is a seed. But so is every thought of fear, of doubt, of lack. The soil of your subconscious mind doesn't argue or question the seeds you plant. It will grow a poisonous nightshade just as readily as it will grow a beautiful rose. Its only job is to take your thoughts and bring them to life in your experience, in your body, and in your affairs. As Murphy writes, every thought is a cause, and every condition is an effect. This is the foundational secret of the entire book. Most people try to change the conditions and circumstances of their lives by working on the outside world. If they want more wealth, they slave away for longer hours. If they want better relationships, they try to change the other person. But this is like trying to change the reflection in a mirror without changing your own face. Murphy teaches that to change the world without, you must first change the world within. The cause of everything you experience, the success, the failure, the joy, the sorrow, is the way you are using your conscious mind and the seeds you are planting in the garden of your subconscious. To make this even clearer, Murphy uses another powerful analogy. Your mind is like a ship. Your conscious mind is the captain on the bridge. The captain directs the ship, studies the charts, and gives the orders. Down in the engine room is the crew, your subconscious mind. The crew doesn't know where they're going. They simply follow orders. If the captain gives the right orders, the ship sails smoothly toward its destination. But if the captain gives faulty or wrong instructions, the crew will just as faithfully obey them, even if it means steering the ship straight onto the rocks. The crew never talks back, they just carry out orders. Your subconscious mind takes the orders you give it based on what your conscious mind believes and accepts as true. This is why, when you repeatedly say to yourself, "I can't afford it," or "I'll never succeed," you are giving a direct order to your subconscious. Like a faithful servant, it then sees to it that you don't have the money and that you don't succeed. It is simply following the commands of the captain. A young university student learned this lesson just in time. She was looking at a beautiful, expensive traveling bag in a store window right before Christmas. She was about to say to herself, "I can't afford that," but she remembered one of Murphy's lectures where he said, "Never finish a negative statement, reverse it immediately." So, instead, she declared, "That bag is mine. It is for sale. I accept it mentally, and my subconscious sees to it that I receive it." That evening, her fiancé presented her with a gift, the very same bag. She had filled her mind with the feeling of expectancy and released the idea to her deeper mind, which knows the how-to of accomplishment. This brings us to the most important law of all, the law of belief. The Bible says, "According to your belief is it done unto you." Murphy clarifies that this doesn't mean belief in a particular ritual or creed. The law of your mind is belief itself. A belief is simply a thought that you have accepted as true in your mind. It is not the thing you believe in that brings results, but the belief in your own mind that brings about the result. This explains why people all over the world, from all different religions and backgrounds, can get answers to their prayers. It's not because of the specific ceremony or offering, but because of their mental acceptance and receptivity for the thing they are praying for. Their subconscious responds not to the religion, but to the belief. The subconscious mind does not reason or argue like your conscious mind does. It is like a computer, it runs whatever program you install. This is why suggestion is so incredibly powerful. Experiments on people in a hypnotic state have shown this time and again. If a hypnotist suggests to a person that he is Napoleon, he will act the part with uncanny accuracy. If he is told his nose is bleeding, his body may actually produce the physical symptoms. This shows that the subconscious will accept any suggestion, however false, and act upon it. Your conscious mind is the watchman at the gate. Its chief function is to protect your subconscious from false impressions. Unfortunately, from infancy, most of us have been flooded with negative suggestions. You can't. You'll fail. You'll never amount to anything. We unconsciously accept them, and our subconscious brings them to pass as limitations in our lives. The good news is that you can consciously choose to reject these ideas. You can start a process of reconditioning therapy through what is known as autosuggestion, suggesting something definite and specific to yourself. A young singer, paralyzed by stage fright, used this to transform her career. On 3 occasions, her fear of failure caused her to fail miserably. Her subconscious had accepted her silent fear thoughts as a request. To overcome this, she began a new practice. 3 times a day, she would sit quietly, relax her body, and affirm to herself, "I sing beautifully. I am poised, serene, confident, and calm." She repeated this slowly, with feeling, over and over. Within a week, she was completely poised and confident, and gave a wonderful audition. She had overwritten the old program of fear with a new program of confidence. The subconscious mind cannot take a joke. It takes you at your word. This is a powerful truth, but it can also be a dangerous one. Murphy tells the chilling story of a man who, over 2 years, repeatedly said, "I would give my right arm to see my daughter cured." His daughter suffered from a crippling form of arthritis and a skin disease. One day, the family was in a car collision, and the father's right arm was torn off at the shoulder. At that exact moment, his daughter's conditions vanished. He had given his subconscious a powerful, literal command, and it had carried it out in the only way it knew how. This is why you must be so careful to give your subconscious only suggestions that heal, bless, elevate, and inspire. So, how do we consciously and safely use this incredible power? Murphy outlines several practical techniques, which are really different forms of scientific prayer. He defines prayer not as a religious act, but as the harmonious interaction of the conscious and subconscious levels of mind, scientifically directed for a specific purpose. One of the most powerful methods is the visualization technique. The easiest way to formulate an idea is to see it in your mind's eye as if it were already real. An architect first visualizes the building he wants to create. That mental image becomes the blueprint. Eventually, that invisible blueprint is made manifest in concrete and steel. In the same way, any picture you hold in your mind, backed by faith, is a blueprint for your subconscious. It is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. A closely related method is the mental movie method. Here, you don't just see a static picture, you dramatize the end result. You feel the reality of it. You imagine conversations, you feel the handshake, you hear the voices. You are playing a role, and as Murphy says, act as though I am, and I will be. He tells the story of a young pharmacist who was earning a meager salary but dreamed of owning his own store. He began to live this role mentally. In his imagination, he was in his own store, arranging bottles, dispensing prescriptions, and seeing a large balance in his bank account. He lived and acted on the assumption that he already owned the store. The sequel was remarkable. He was let go from his job, but soon found a better one as a manager at a large chain. He saved his money, and in 4 years, he bought a drugstore of his own, the exact store he had seen in his imagination. He called it his dream pharmacy. Perhaps the most important element in all these techniques is to avoid effort or mental coercion. This brings us to what might be the most counterintuitive and crucial lesson in the entire book, the law of reversed effort. The famous psychologist Kuhn defined it this way: when your desires and imagination are in conflict, your imagination invariably gains the day. Imagine there's a plank of wood on the floor. If I asked you to walk across it, you'd do it without a second thought. But now, imagine that same plank is placed 20 feet in the air between 2 buildings. Your desire to walk it is now in direct conflict with your imagination of falling. The dominant idea, the picture of falling, will conquer your desire. The more you use willpower and try to force yourself to walk, the more tense you become, and the more real the idea of failure becomes. You get the opposite of what you want. This is why so many people fail to get results from prayer. They say, "I want a healing, but I can't get it," or "I'm forcing myself to pray." Their effort suggests they don't really believe. They are trying to compel the subconscious, but the subconscious does not respond to coercion. it responds only to faith and acceptance. Easy does it is the key. The way to reconcile the conflict between desire and imagination is to enter a relaxed, sleepy, drowsy state. This is the basis of the sleeping technique. Murphy explains that the highest degree of outcropping of the subconscious occurs just before sleep and just after we awaken. In this passive state, mental effort is reduced to a minimum, and your conscious mind is submerged. The negative thoughts that might normally fight your desire are no longer present. This is the perfect time to lull yourself to sleep by quietly repeating a single word or a brief phrase that sums up your desire, like wealth, success, or health. You feel the reality of it, you feel the thankfulness for it, and then you drift off to sleep, letting your subconscious mind do the work. This is exactly how many of the world's great scientists received their breakthroughs. The chemist Friedrich von Strautenitz had been working for ages trying to figure out the structure of the benzene molecule. Exhausted, he turned the problem over to his subconscious. Shortly after, as he was boarding a bus, his subconscious presented him with a sudden flash of insight, a snake biting its own tail, forming a circle. This gave him the answer he was looking for, the circular arrangement of atoms in the benzene ring. His conscious mind had struggled and failed. His subconscious, once given the task, delivered the answer effortlessly. This power is not just for inventing things, it is the source of all healing. Your subconscious mind is the builder of your body. It built you from a single cell, and it knows how to heal you. It works 24 hours a day to maintain your body's functions, from your heartbeat to your digestion. When you think negatively, with fear, worry, and anxiety, you interfere with its harmonious, life-giving patterns. But when you feed it with thoughts of health and perfection, its natural healing tendency is released. Murphy tells his own powerful story of healing. Over 40 years before writing the book, he developed a malignancy of the skin, a sarcoma. Medical therapy had failed. A clergyman explained to him that the book mentioned in the Psalms, in which all our members were written, was his subconscious mind, the creative intelligence that fashioned his organs in the first place. If it made his body, it could also recreate it and heal it. This insight gave him a new blueprint. Several times a day, he would pray simply, "My body and all its organs were created by the infinite intelligence in my subconscious mind. It knows how to heal me. This infinite healing presence within me is now transforming every atom of my being, making me whole and perfect now. I give thanks for the healing I know is taking place." He did this for about 3 months. At the end of that time, his skin was whole and perfect. He had successfully impressed the idea of perfect health onto his subconscious, and it responded by recreating his body according to that perfect pattern. The same principle applies to creating wealth. For many, this is a stumbling block. They say I am wealthy over and over, but nothing happens. Murphy explains this is because when they say it, they feel within that they are lying. Their conscious affirmation is in conflict with their deeper feeling of lack. And the subconscious is always controlled by the dominant idea or feeling. To avoid this conflict, he suggests a more subtle affirmation, one that doesn't arouse argument. By day and by night, I am being prospered in all of my interests. This statement engages the cooperation of both the conscious and subconscious mind. Another powerful technique is to simply repeat the word wealth quietly and easily before sleep. You are not making a claim that is currently untrue. You are simply dwelling on the idea of wealth, and the feeling of wealth produces wealth. One of the greatest obstacles to wealth, he warns, is envy. When you see another person prosper and you feel bitter or critical, you are condemning the very thing you desire. This places you in a negative state, and wealth flows from you instead of to you. The quickest way to overcome this is to immediately wish that person greater and greater wealth. Rejoice in the prosperity of others, because in doing so, you open the channels for prosperity to flow to you. Ultimately, every area of your life, your success, your relationships, your happiness, is governed by these same laws. Success, Murphy says, involves 3 steps. First, find out the thing you love to do. Then do it. Second, specialize in it and know more about it than anyone else. But the third step is the most important. You must be sure that what you want to do does not just benefit you alone. It must benefit humanity. Your desire must go forth with the purpose of blessing the world. Only then will it come back to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over. When it comes to relationships, the golden rule holds the key, but with an inner meaning. As you would that men should think about you, think you about them in like manner. What you think and feel about another person, you are actually creating in your own experience, because your mind is the creative medium. The good you do comes back to you. The evil you do returns to you by the law of your own mind. To attract the ideal partner, you must dwell on the qualities you desire in that person, building the mental equivalent into your own mentality. Your subconscious will then bring you together in divine order. And finally, there is the matter of aging. So many people fear what they call old age, anticipating the end of their usefulness. But Murphy reminds us that your subconscious mind never grows old. It is timeless and ageless. Qualities like patience, kindness, love, and wisdom never grow old. You grow old only when you lose interest in life, when you cease to dream and search for new truths. He tells us that age is not the flight of years, but the dawn of wisdom. You are as young, as strong, and as valuable as you think you are. The power that moves the world is within you. The solution to every problem, the cause for every effect, lies in the silent, invisible world of your mind. You are the gardener, you are the captain, you are the architect of your own life. All you have to do is choose. Choose the thoughts that bless, that heal, that inspire. Plant them in the garden of your subconscious, trust in the law of growth, and prepare to witness wonders happen in your life. Commentary. As we come to the end of our journey through the power of your subconscious mind, it's worth pausing to reflect on why this book, written so many decades ago, continues to resonate so deeply with people all over the world. I believe the reason is simple. It speaks to a fundamental human truth that we often forget. It reminds us that we are not helpless leaves blown about by the winds of fate. We are creators. The single most powerful lesson from Joseph Murphy's work is the profound shift from seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances to seeing yourself as the master of your experience. The world is not happening to you, it is responding from you. The idea that our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are the creative force in our lives is both incredibly empowering and, for some, a little frightening. It hands us the ultimate responsibility. There is no one to blame for our unhappiness or our failures, but by the same token, there is no external power that can prevent our success and joy. What I find most beautiful about this book is its simplicity and its universality. Murphy strips away dogma and complex rituals. He's not asking you to join a specific group or believe in a particular doctrine. He is describing a law of the mind that he says works for everyone, regardless of their background, the atheist, the agnostic, the devoutly religious. The power he speaks of is an innate part of our human nature. Prayer, in his view, is not about pleading with a distant deity. It's a structured, scientific way of aligning your conscious desires with the infinite creative power that already exists within you. So, how can you start applying this timeless wisdom in your own life, right now? Here are 3 simple, practical actions you can take today. First, practice the morning choice. When you open your eyes tomorrow, before you check your phone or let the worries of the day rush in, take 1 minute to consciously choose your state of being. Say to yourself, either silently or out loud, I choose happiness today. I choose success today. I choose peace today. Divine order is in charge of my life, and all things are working together for my good. Feel the truth of these words. This simple act sets the blueprint for your day and directs your subconscious to find experiences that match your choice. Second, use the power of the evening impression. Tonight, just before you go to sleep, pick one thing you desire, whether it's the solution to a problem, a healing for yourself or a loved one, or a specific goal you want to achieve. Don't get caught up in the how. Instead, use the sleep technique. Relax your body, get into a drowsy state, and imagine the end result. Feel what you would feel if your desire were already a reality. Are you feeling relief? Joy? Hold that feeling. As drive. Murphy says, imagine the happy ending or solution to your problem. Feel the thrill of accomplishment, and what you imagine and feel will be accepted by your subconscious mind and bring it to pass. And third, practice the art of forgiveness. Is there someone in your life who has hurt you? Is there a resentment you've been carrying? Understand that this is only harming you. It's a mental poison that blocks the flow of life, peace, and good in your own experience. Use Murphy's simple technique. Quiet your mind and affirm, I fully and freely forgive. Mention the person's name. I release them mentally and spiritually. I am free, and they are free. I wish for them health, happiness, and all the blessings of life. Do this freely and lovingly, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. That was a deep dive into the power of your subconscious mind by Joseph Murphy. We've journeyed through the core principles today, but I'll be honest with you. A summary is like looking at a travel brochure. It can show you the beautiful pictures, but it can never replace the feeling of actually taking the trip yourself. The real magic happens when you read the book. It's in those quiet moments when a particular story or a simple phrase connects with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is a journey worth taking. If anything we've talked about has sparked something within you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning new information, it's an experience that can genuinely change the way you see yourself and the incredible power you hold. The link to the book is in the description. Also, if you found this summary valuable and it gave you a new perspective, please take a moment to click that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's continue to grow and learn together.